company. Ordinarily, two's company. But contrarily, we disagree, no matter what it happens to be.
You're the perverse one.
I agonize
Night and day with you.
to compromise.
There's no way with you.
I wish I had picked a large boa constrictor, my friend.
Are you trying to tell me something?
You're the perverse one, two's company.
Indisputably.
Two's company.
Irrefutably.
How we embark on old Noah's Ark, pair by pair.
Not so loud.
So ask me whose company.
Whenever I choose company.
I gotta say, two's company.
Except for this affair.
You give me mal de mer.
You know what that means?
Could we let in some fresh air?
No, madam.
Au contraire. Bullseye.
There's nothing quite like it, madam, for giving a protective shine to the shoes.
Wouldn't it have been simpler just to buy patent leather?
Oh, patent. That would be cheating, madam.
Well, I thought that would appeal to you.
Are you feeling ill, madam?
Why, Robert? Do I look ill?
It's just that you're still wearing your house coat, and it's 11:43.
Well, my ball gown's at the cleaners, and I can't find my tiara.
There is a happy medium, madam.
It happens to be Saturday, and I'm relaxing, okay, Robert? Did you fix the plug in the living room?
My next job, madam.
Just thought I'd remind you.
I never need reminding.
Robert, I have something to tell you. I'm wanted in New York.
On what charge, madam?
Like that. It's just that they want me to come over and publicize my new thriller.
Really?
Isn't that terrific? You're gonna love New York.
No, madam, I can't stand heights.
Well, I'll book you in a boiler room.
Am I to understand, madam, that you wish me to accompany you to the New World?
Of course, Robert. I wouldn't go any place without you. We leave Thursday.
Yes? Well, they won't give me very much time, madam, for jabs.
Jabs?
There's cholera, smallpox, and tetanus.
And don't forget malaria.
Is that prevalent in New York, madam?
Oh, Robert, it's on the rampage. Don't you read the papers? A giant mosquito has taken over the city. I mean, they've had nothing like it since King Kong.
What about firearms, madam?
Firearms?
Yes, will we have to carry guns?
Yeah, sure, on account of all the Apaches on Fifth Avenue.
I thought that everybody in New York carried a gun, madam.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Robert, but I've never carried a gun in my life. It's lucky for you, huh?
Yes, but I don't think I would enjoy a stay in New York, madam, however brief.
You're gonna love New York, Robert, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
New York is gonna love you.
Love me.
You see, you'll knock 'em dead with your English accent. Americans flip over an English accent, especially the women. And then together with all your other charms, well, it just scares me to think about it.
Well, don't think that you're, exaggerating, madam.
No, do you think I'm exaggerating?
Not at all.
You know, for a minute there, I thought you were just becoming a little bit modest. Look, I've got to file all these letters, and well, it just scares me. I've got a million things to do before we leave.
Why do you think my presence in New York will have such an awesome effect upon the natives, madam? I should like to know.
Well, I just told you.
But I find it most intriguing.
I know, you fascinate you.
Not at all.
Compared to you, Narcissus had an inferiority complex.
It was you who brought the subject up, madam. You were saying?
Well, it's just that my friends, I mean, they've never met anybody like you see. I mean, they probably think that you're, I don't know, extinct.
I have heard that the word civility has disappeared from the American language, madam. I do feel that I might be appreciated.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I don't know how I'm going to handle the crowds.
And you say we depart on Thursday?
Right.
We'll need supplies, madam.
Supplies?
Yes, to make our stay in New York more agreeable. Tea, tinned meat, tablets for the water.
Hay for the horses?
Horses.
Well, of course. We need horses, otherwise we'll never make it to Times Square. I just hope to God the cavalry are holding out at Rockefeller Center.
Well, you won't have to worry about the journey over, madam, as no doubt we'll be on a British ship.
What?
The QE2.
No, Robert.
What else is there, madam?
Well, we're going to be flying to New York.
Flying.
It's just a question of time, Robert. I can't afford 5.5 days of fun and games on the QE2.
Do you remember our very first meeting?
Yes, I do indeed. I developed a twitch.
I told you then that I heartily dislike flying.
Did you? Oh, now wait a minute. Yes, you did. You did indeed. Okay. But you also said that you'd never flown.
I have a phobia about flying, madam. I'll sail anywhere, drive anywhere, in a car, in a tank.
Oh, well, you'll never get me in a tank, that's for sure.
Well, there you are, madam. You see, you refuse to go in a tank, I refuse to fly.
There's no comparison.
Yes, there is.
Well, I mean, you don't commute to New York in a tank.
It's a form of transport, madam.
Okay, I've got a lunch date tomorrow at the Savoy, okay? So about 12:30, why don't you run out to the King's Road and hail me a tank?
If I could, madam, you wouldn't take it.
All right, you win. I'll go to New York in a tank. Now, you go out and you make the necessary arrangements.
You know very well that's impossible, madam.
I know, but it's not impossible to fly.
I have no wish to be left alone in the sky, madam, with my maker.
Robert, I'm not asking you to fly with Lindbergh. I mean, it's a jumbo jet. They carry 300 passengers.
I don't like crowds.
Well, you know, you could take a sleeping pill.
I'm allergic to sleeping pills, madam.
All right, I'll buy you 4 double malt whiskeys at the airport, then you can fly the plane yourself.
That will be the easy way out, madam.
What if I paid you to fly with me?
How much?
Think of a number.
£40 per travelling hour, madam.
Okay, now I'll think of a number. 5. 5.
How long would we be in the air, madam?
No, now let's see. It's 7 hours to New York.
That's 14 hours and 5 pounds. That's 70 pounds.
No, that's 13. It's not 14.
30.
Yeah, because it's an hour less on the way back.
13 is a very unlucky number for some.
I don't know about that. I was born on the 13th.
Precisely.
All right, look at it this way. We'll probably be circling Kennedy Airport for a couple of days waiting for permission to land. And then, think of the money you're going to make.
Would have to be a British aircraft, madam.
Down to the last nut.
All the crew would have to be British.
To the 7th generation.
Yes, well, rest assured, madam, I'll give your kind offer every consideration.
Wait a minute, Robert. I want an answer now.
But it's such a big step, madam.
We're not going to the moon.
You're not being very sympathetic, madam. If it were the other way around, if you were scared of the sea, I would be most sympathetic and insist that we flew to New York.
You know, it's funny you should say that because I'm scared to death of the ocean.
Nonsense.
It's not nonsense. I can't swim.
But you wouldn't be expected to swim.
Well, what if the boat sunk?
Quite impossible.
Boats have been known to sink.
Vehicles have been known to crash, madam. It doesn't stop you going in a motor car.
What happened to all this sympathy you were talking about?
You're not scared of the sea,
Yes,
madam.
I am.
But, I mean, there's nothing to be scared of. If there were, I'd be scared, and I'm not.
Oh, so you're not scared, so I'm not scared.
It's all in the mind.
I don't care where it is, Robert. There's just nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, well, I could teach you to swim, madam. I'd drop you in the deep end. You'd swim all right.
And what if I didn't?
You'd sink.
You want to go book the airline tickets now, please?
If God had meant us to fly, madam, he would have given us wings.
If God had meant us to sail, he would have given us rudders. Now, I don't want to hear any more excuses.
Put yourself into my shoes, madam.
Do you know I did? I honestly did, Robert. I thought to myself, it's wrong. It is just wrong to force Robert to fly. I mean, maybe we should go by boat. Well, I'm glad I didn't pursue that idea because you just stood by and watched me drown. And that's why you're going to be on that airplane with me next Thursday. Now go and book the tickets, Robert.
Yes, ma'am.
Robert, is that you? Oh, sorry, Humphrey. No, that's terrific. 7 o'clock at the Connaught. Okay, I'll see you then. You're late.
It's a cold luncheon, madam.
Where'd you go for the tickets? To the airport?
There was a very long queue, madam.
Like the one at the Green Dragon pub. How's the new barmaid working out?
Oh, she's settling in very nicely, thank you, madam. I bumped into her in Sloane Street, madam.
Of course you bumped into her in Sloane Street. The Green Dragon pub is in Sloane Street. Robert?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are they?
Where are what, madam?
The airline tickets.
Oh, the tickets. Yes, madam, yes.
Thanks. Robert.
Yes, ma'am.
There's only one ticket here.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
There was only one seat left.
Where did you go for this ticket?
To the travel agent, madam.
The one you watch cricket with?
Yeah.
And he only had one left. Isn't that amazing? Well, I think I better go and check that out. I think he must have had a cancellation by now.
As you wish, madam.
Call me a tank.
It's just round the corner, madam.
Okay, then we can phone him and find out.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, we'll fly American.
I refuse to fly American, madam.
Why? We invented the whole thing.
It was Leonardo da Vinci, madam, in 1500 and something, who designed the first flying machine.
And it was 1903 that the Wright brothers finally managed to get it off the ground. Go and phone that guy.
I agree, madam, that the Americans pioneered the dangerous part of flying. It was left to the British to make it safer.
How?
Radar, madam.
Oh, Robert, you can do better than that.
It saved us in 1940, madam, from being invaded.
How?
It allowed us to shoot down the enemy aircraft.
Sounds a pretty safe invention, especially for the enemy aircraft.
Christopher, Robert.
I'll take it. I'll handle this, okay?
Another British invention, madam.
What is?
The telephone.
Oh, Robert, that telephone was invented by a German, and it was perfected by an American.
Alexander Graham Bell, madam, was a Scotsman.
Alexander Graham Bell was an American. He did his experiments in Boston. Where are you going?
Consult the encyclopedia, madam.
Sorry about this, Chris. My butler is just rewriting history. What the hell do you know about it? Well, then you were taught wrong. Wait a minute. What does the encyclopedia say?
Alexander Graham Bell was Scottish-American, madam.
You hear that, Chris? Alexander Graham Bell was an American Scotchman. See, so I was right. And am I also right in assuming that there's been a cancellation on the Thursday flight to New York? Right. Okay, darling. Robert will be right there.
Has there been a cancellation, madam?
28 of them.
As many as that.
Now, are we going to play any more games, or are you going to go out and book your ticket?
I know when I'm beaten, madam.
Robert? Be sure to take out life insurance for both of us.
Life insurance.
Yeah, well, you never know. I like New York in June. How about... Good morning, Robert. What's the matter? Don't I get a good morning today?
Good morning, madam.
Robert, is there something wrong?
I would rather not discuss it, if you don't mind.
It's up to you.
So tragic.
What is the matter, Robert? What, is somebody ill?
Dead.
Oh, Robert, I'm so sorry.
Such a loss.
Is it anybody I know?
Yes, madam.
Who?
I, madam.
You.
I'm afraid so.
When did it happen?
Please, madam, I would rather not be reminded of it.
I mean, as your employer, I mean, I think I have a right to know when you died.
It hasn't occurred.
Thank God for that. When is the event going to take place?
Thursday.
Thursday.
According to my dream.
You had a dream?
Yes, last night, madam. And according to my dream, the aeroplane in which we were traveling came down in the sea. Naturally, I assisted in the rescue operation. Passengers into the dinghies. And then suddenly you found that you'd left the manuscript of your latest novel on board. So I went back to get it, madam, and the aircraft chose that precise moment to sink.
Even in your dreams, I managed to screw things up.
You were all rescued within minutes, madam, but what followed was very strange.
What was that?
You took to your bed, madam, and you never wrote another word.
Robert, this dream now. Are you sure you didn't make it all up?
If I had made it up, madam, it would have been you who would have drowned.
Oh, that would have been too obvious. You see, you gave your plot a little twist to make it more convincing. Nice try, Robert. We're flying Thursday.
If you'll excuse me, I'll go and make my will.
You see, your characters were just not convincing. I'm afraid you'd never make a successful writer.
And yet you are, madam.
Of course I am. My characters are convincing.
Your corpses certainly are, madam. More coffee, madam.
Yes, thank you so much.
Do you believe in astrology, madam?
I suppose so. Why?
Well, it just so happens that I was reading our predictions for the week, madam, and we were both strongly advised not to travel on Thursday.
Where's the paper that you read this in?
I burnt it, madam.
Forget it, Robert.
It's true, madam.
No, it's not true, because if you'd really read that in the paper, you would have had a dozen copies blown up, framed, and hung in every room.
Madam,
What?
the plane could be hijacked.
Terrific. I've never been to Cuba.
If you had the slightest modicum of
Oh,
sympathy,
go
madam.
make the coffee. What's happened, Robert?
I pulled the muscle in my back, madam.
Making the coffee?
Sorry, madam, it's happened before. I know what to do. Just keep on the move.
Is it painful?
I think I can bear it, madam. I was so looking forward to visiting New York, madam.
Even if it meant flying?
Oh, I doubt very much whether I'd be fit to fly, madam. You see, every time It locks, madam.
Well, you can unlock it by walking up and down the aircraft.
I thought one had to remain seated throughout, madam.
No, Robert. Just take off and landings. Is it feeling better, honey?
Yes, it's easing somewhat, madam.
Good, because we have to go to the American Embassy.
American Embassy, madam?
Well, you need a visa to get into the country.
Oh, I shouldn't wish to inconvenience them, madam.
Don't you worry about it, Robert. I mean, it's all part of their job. What's the matter now?
My cartilage, madam, it's gone out.
Well, it'll be back in a minute. What are you blinking about?
My eyes, madam, they're beginning to blur over.
Oh, now stop it, Robert. You're behaving like a big baby.
Don't want to fly, madam.
Well, you're going to fly. And we're going to go to Heathrow Airport. And we're going to have a couple of whiskeys. And we're going to get on the plane. And we're going to sit down. And we're going to fasten our seatbelts. And we're going to have a lovely dinner. And then we're going to wake up in New York. Where they're going to love you. Oh, yes, and wait a minute. I called the airline. And they are showing a movie on our flight.
A film, madam? What, up in the...
Of course. They do that, you see, to take your mind off of things. It's an oldie, and you're gonna love it. Cary Grant and Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth, madam.
Yeah. In Only Angels Have Wings. Finish yet? What are you writing, your memoirs?
I just have to sign it, madam.
Let me see what you've written there.
Please, madam. This is private and confidential. Personally, I think having to beg for a visa is an impertinence. After all, I'm a British subject.
Just that we don't want any undesirables getting into the country.
Is that because you've got enough of your own, madam?
You want to keep your voice down, please?
I know this is American soil, madam, and surely I can express an opinion.
Of course you can, but you don't have to shout about it.
Why, do you recognize somebody from the CIA, madam?
You be quiet, please.
I beg your pardon?
Enjoy your stay, sir.
Really? Well, he doesn't look like one. Do you?
I don't look like what, sir?
CIA. I apologize if I've blown your cover.
Don't pay any attention to me. He likes to horse around.
How long have you been a member of the Communist Party, sir?
Communist Party? He's not a member of the Communist Party.
Well, that's what he's got down here.
Well, that's his sense of humor.
I may say so, ma'am. It's a pretty sick sense of humor.
See, he doesn't want to go to America.
So what's he doing here?
Well, he wants to go to America, but he's afraid of flying. See? And that's why, aren't you, Robert, afraid of flying?
No, madam.
Yes, he is. You see, that's why he said he was a communist, because he's afraid of flying.
I love flying.
Isn't he a character? I'm going to kill you.
Are you a member of the Communist Party, sir?
Yes, sir.
I notice you've written here, sir, that you wish to visit America in order to overthrow the Constitution.
Yes. After I've unpacked. I never thought I should be so delighted to wave goodbye to 130 pounds, madam.
Well, now you can wave goodbye to me.
With pleasure.
From Southampton. Yes, I am booked, and you were booked on the QE2.
QE2, madam.
I made the switch because I knew the thought of flying was turning you into a gibbering idiot.
But you never told me.
Well, I wanted it to be a surprise.
You should have told me, madam.
Why? You never told me you were a communist.
I am not a communist, madam.
Tell it to the CIA. Sneakers.